What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We have our highly requested, highly anticipated, I'm excited to make this video, the playoff investment, breakdown investment guide. We're only going to be doing AFC in this video because this video would have been an hour long. We do AFC and NFC. And then one thing to note, I'm recording this Wednesday night, so campus heroes will all be revealed in the morning, probably after or before you're watching this. If any players in that promo get revealed that are in this video, just brush them aside, act like I never said them. And then one last thing, and this is a very important thing, if I do not mention because you got to understand, this is EA Sports talking about, the playoff promo is not their primary, Team of the Year and AP Award promo have higher priorities over the playoff promo. So I'm not going to be talking about cards like Aaron Rodgers, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, because they are going to be getting Team of the Year or AP cards or even Team of the Week cards. Playoff promo is that kind of tier of NFL stars where they aren't good enough to get a Team of the Year or an AP card, but they still have done really good throughout the season. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. First, a brief summary of the NFL playoff promo. It's pretty much each team will get an offensive and defensive hero. Last year they were 95 overall. This year they have potential to be 96, since we're kind of on an overall scale, one above from last year. But either way, it doesn't really matter. We're targeting as investments that 95 and 96 overall offensive and defensive hero for each team. There's also legends, but we can't really, it's too hard. It's a needle in the haystack when it comes to investing in legends for promos like this, when there's only going to be 1 or 2 legends released every weekend for the playoff promos. So main thing we're going after is the current players, offensive and defense, one for each team, for all the teams to make the playoffs. Again, we're going to be going over, I think it's 8 total teams, or there's 7 teams in each conference to make the playoffs, but we got to go over Raiders, Chargers in the AFC, and then Vikings, Saints in the NFC, stuff like that. So main thing though, we're going after the 95 overall, and then our buy windows. This is very important. Our playoff investing window number 1 is going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The best date will probably be Friday and Saturday, but of course we'll also have another window which will be Tuesday and Wednesday when the team of the week gets released. We might have a little bit of a market dip that day, but main thing is, especially I'm really happy we're getting campus heroes this weekend. We have a great playoff window or investing window for the playoff promo. This weekend, Friday, will probably be the best day to invest. That's when prices are going to be the cheapest, the packs are going to be open the most. And then in prices, last thing, I'm not going to be going over specific prices for each card in this because we don't know how the market is going to react this weekend. There might not be a reroll and the market might crash. There might be a reroll and the market goes up. We don't know. There might be an odds boost as well. I have no clue what the market is going to be like this weekend. We'll know that Friday morning. But for this video, I'm not going over prices. We're going to talk about names and who's likely to get an upgrade. Okay, first thing, main thing, core elites that don't have upgrades. These are the cards that I'm going to be investing in the most because they're the most likely to get an upgrade. It's not that I don't think a certain card is good enough or a player is good enough to get an upgrade. It's just they're most likely if they don't have an upgrade yet. That's what I'm trying to say. Core elites that don't have upgrades, the players I'm investing in the most. And well, we briefly went over it, but we're going to start with the Tennessee Titans, potentially the #1 overall seed. On the offense and defense side of the ball, we're going to start on the offensive side. Of course, Derrick Henry being, I think a lot of people think Derrick Henry, he's coming back from injury, potential to play week 18, play in their divisional matchup. I just don't think, the fact that we just got the quarterback Derrick Henry, I don't really, having a 95 halfback or 96 halfback Derrick Henry and then a 96 overall quarterback Derrick Henry, I don't think EA is going to go on that route. I think they're saving Derrick Henry for something more down the line, but he easily could get an upgrade. I'm not throwing him like he's not getting a card. He could potentially get a card. Julio Jones, another card, could potentially been injured a lot this year, but the main 2 guys I think that are just most likely to get an upgrade, it's going to be AJ Brown and Ryan Tannehill. They've been the contributing factors for the late second half run in the regular season. AJ Brown, although injured, has come on late, really good late in the season. Ryan Tannehill, of course, the quarterback, could definitely get an upgrade. Their two highest upgradable cards are flashbacks. AJ Brown having an 87 overall flashback, really cheap price. He'd be a pretty good card if we were to get an upgrade. And then Ryan Tannehill has an 89 overall, of course, Miami Dolphins flashback card. But those are the 2 I think most likely candidates for the offensive hero for the Tennessee Titans. If you want to pick those guys up, wouldn't be a bad shout. Especially the best cards to invest in, by the way, are actually flashback cards, team of the week, really good to invest in. You don't want to invest in, the best investments are the cards that aren't in set. So most feared harvest guys, yeah, they're good investments because they're the secondary card, but you can always get those guys through a set. Flashbacks and team of the weeks, you can only get them through packs or a random set at most. So that's why I love flashback investments. That's why I love team of the week investments. Okay, defensive side of the ball for the Tennessee Titans. There's a cluster of linebackers that could get upgrades. You have your Rashaan Evans, you have Harold Landry, you have Bud Dupree. All three of those guys could potentially get the 95 overall offensive hero, but we have to go with the guys that are most likely to get it, the guys that I think played the best for the Tennessee Titans. By the way, if you're a fan of one of these teams, let me know in the comments who's played the best. I know mostly on the offensive side of the ball who's played the best, but defensively, it's a little hard for me because I don't watch every single game. But I know for the Tennessee Titans, Jeffrey Simmons has had a hell of a year, and then Kevin Byard is always right. He's always really good. He makes the Pro Bowl almost every single year, but Kevin Byard and Jeffrey Simmons are the two guys I think most likely, most deserving of that 95-96 overall card. It's another thing. These cards have to be playing good. They have to be deserving. They have to be headlining cards at the 95-96. They can't be good enough to get the 91 or the 93. They need to be the 95 because those are the cards that people are going to want to pick up the most for their team. But Kevin Byard, Jeffrey Simmons are my two guys on the Tennessee Titans defensive hero kind of candidates. All right, for the Kansas City Chiefs, my Kansas City Chiefs, and this one is a little bit easier because there's not a lot of options. Most of these stars on the Chiefs have gotten really good upgrades in the past month. Offensive side of the football, I think there's two real options. Another option, CEH could get a card, but we're not going to be talking about gold cards because you can't use those as investments. It's strictly investments. We're trying to make coins here. Orlando Brown, a left tackle, Gridiron Guardian is his only core elite or elite card, so he will go into his power-up. He just got hurt, but he's had a pretty solid year. Mecole Hardman, hell, if he gets a hell no, he does not deserve a 90+ overall card. Tyreek Hill, of course, just got really a harvest card. Travis Kelce, if it's a 96 over, if these cards are 96s, he has the potential to get one. He seems like he always gets a playoff card. It's just a you're risking a lot more by investing in Travis Kelce's Redux, and if he weren't to get a card, you'd just probably lose a little bit. Patrick Mahomes, of course, probably not going to get one. I think the most obvious one, and this card is 100% deserving of a card, potentially could get a Team of the Year, but I think this just slots right in. It fits the puzzle piece of the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Thuney, he played left tackle last week. He is in real life, he is such a good offensive lineman. 100% deserving of the 95-96 overall card for the offensive hero for the Chiefs, but Joe Thuney's probably my best bet. Having an 88 ultimate kickoff kind of caps his upside because you could always just do his set, but I think it's just the most likely to get a card. It's Joe Thuney. Now on the defense side of the ball, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty simple. Nick Bolton, yeah, Nick Bolton could probably get a card. Deserving of a card, yeah. Frank Clark, 92 overall heavyweight. Again, I'm kind of capping it at 92 overall. Anything above 92, I think, is too close to the overall margin to go from like a 93 to a 95. I think that's too close. Rashad Fenton, just got a card. Willie Gay probably is. He's probably going to get a 90 or 91 overall card. Anthony Hitchens, another guy. Mike Hughes, another guy. Melvin Ingram just got a card. Chris Jones kind of got a card recently. But Tyrann Mathieu, and he might get a Campus Hero card, if we're being honest. Easily can get a Campus Hero card, but Tyrann Mathieu does not have an upgrade. This is the first core elite without an upgrade, and it's the first, I think, really obvious investment. His ceiling isn't that good because his cards are never amazing speed-wise. He's not that tall, but I think it's just an obvious selection. Tyrann Mathieu probably doesn't make the Team of the Year. He doesn't really have any other windows to get an upgrade. I think Tyrann Mathieu, pretty obvious answer for the Chiefs. Defensive hero, 95-96 overall. It is going to be Tyrann Mathieu. All right, moving on. We're done with the Chiefs. We're done with the Titans. Let's move on to the number 3 seed, the Cincinnati Bengals, the PI merchants themselves. And again, I'm going to preface this. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, I do not have him getting playoff cards because I think, one, they could get Team of the Week cards. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, really likely to get AP cards. Joe Burrow in the running for Comeback Player of the Year. Jamar Chase probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, so I'm not giving them playoff cards because they're going to get 97, 98 overall AP cards a month down the line. So for the Cincinnati Bengals offensively, Tyler Boyd is an option, I will say, but he hasn't had like the greatest season. I don't want to give him another wide receiver when I think there's a very obvious player to get the Cincinnati Bengals upgrade. AJ Green, of course, on the Cardinals now, but it's Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has been a top 5 running back in the NFL this year. He has not gotten an upgrade since his Gridiron Guardian. He's had multiple Team of the Week performances where he could have gotten upgrades. Like, could have gone Offensive Masters. He's had multiple 30-point plus fantasy performances. Joe Mixon, it just seems like, I think he's the most obvious one out of this entire AFC thing to get a card. Well, there's a couple other guys, but Joe Mixon, I think, is a very obvious answer. Now, Gridiron Guardians don't go up the most. We saw with Patrick Peterson, went from about 13K all the way up to 30K, so he doesn't have the greatest ceiling, but 86 overall, I'd say at a window for Joe Mixon, if you can pick him up like close to 10K, I think 10K to 20K is a realistic way his price goes. But I think Joe Mixon, I think he's deserving. He's due for a card. He's the obvious answer. CJ Uzomah is kind of the other guy out there, but I just think Joe Mixon gets the upgrade. I think he's just fine. It's finally his time to get an upgrade. He's part of the reasons he stayed healthy for the first time all year in his NFL career, deserving of a card. Defensively, there are a couple options. Jesse Bates, the 92 overall most feared, could, again, this is kind of a thing. If it's a 96 overall, he probably could get that 96 overall card. Really good player, but I think Trey Hendrickson, he's had what? I think he has I want to say 14.5 sacks. He has a double-digit sacks. Probably one of the most underrated free agent signings of the year. Trey Hendrickson has been a beast for the Bengals. I think he is deserving. He's one of the guys, he is deserving of a 95, 96 overall card for the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Not the greatest defense. The other guy, Sam Hubbard, but he kind of has a team builder. You have Mike Hilton, he has an ultimate kickoff. I don't know. To me, Trey Hendrickson is the guy that is most deserving. He's also a Team of the Week card, which is a really good investment-wise since you can't really get them except through exchange packs. It's really hard. I love Trey Hendrickson investment. Saints theme team, Bengals theme team, Trey Hendrickson being the defensive hero for the Cincinnati Bengals. If it's Jesse Bates, it's whatever. It would be a really, really good card. But Trey Hendrickson, I think, is the smash, the obvious play for the Bengals. Buffalo Bills. And this one, defensively for the Buffalo Bills, is really, really... There are a ton of guys on the Bills that can get upgrades. Offensively, it's a little more narrow. It's kind of... I think it's really down to 2 players. I know I have Dawson Knox up here as a team builder too, but he wouldn't really be an investment. I wouldn't like... You can't really invest in team builders because you just do the set. They won't go for that much. But the 2 main guys on the offensive side of the football for the Bills, and I think it's pretty obvious, it's Josh Allen, although his Team of the Week has kind of spiked in price. I even saw a TikTok. Someone told all his TikTok guys, hey, pick up Josh Allen. Probably going to get an upgrade. And yeah, it's right. He is probably going to get an upgrade. Although I wouldn't buy an inflated price for Josh Allen. I think a 91 overall quick sells, it's going for like 70K on the market trading-wise. Probably for Josh Allen, for me to buy him, you have to be under 100,000 coins. But Josh Allen, definitely deserving. A couple other guys, you got Cole Beasley, 92. Probably not too high of a rating, too small of a gap. Stephon Diggs, this is the first LTD we're going to talk about getting an upgrade, because if he were to get an upgrade, his LTD or his Redux would be very, very expensive. Route Runner archetype would be a pretty good card. Really, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. See, I know a lot of people are down on the Bills. I think it's either the Bills or the Chiefs in the AFC, and it's my opinion. But I think, let's say the Bills make the Super Bowl. I think if the Bills make the Super Bowl, it's either if Josh Allen gets the playoff offensive guy, I think Stephon Diggs gets that offensive hero for the Super Bowl. Vice versa, if Stephon Diggs gets the playoff card, then Josh Allen will get that Super Bowl card for the Bills promo, or the Super Bowl promo. But yeah, for the Buffalo Bills, I think the main 2 guys, you got Josh Allen, you got Stephon Diggs, 2 really high ceiling guys. Josh Allen, be patient, try to get him at a little cheaper price. Stephon Diggs, good luck picking up that Redux. It's already very, very expensive defensively, and this is very hard because there are a ton of guys that kind of can potentially get upgraded. You have Terrell Edmonds, not really. I think it's AJS, I don't know how to pronounce his name, 84 overall team. But we got Jerry, I mean, the entire Buffalo Bills core elite defense, or just elite defense, could get the 95. This is pretty much a pick and choose. I'm really not going to be investing in any of these guys. And again, throughout this video, I'm not going to be investing in every single one of these guys. It's more, I'm doing the safe bet. So I'm going to go after guys like Joe Mixon, Tyrann Mathieu, along those lines. Probably going to go after Josh Allen. I'm not really going to be going after the Buffalo Bills defensive master, because it's just, man, you got Jordan Poyer, you got Micah Hyde, you got Matt Milano. I mean, these guys are all deserving of a 95 overall card. They all kind of like similar, like, importance to the Bills defense. I don't know how to say that, but it's just too hard. Tre'Davious White, although he's tore his ACL, would probably be the highest ceiling card. You can pick up his Gridiron Guardian, try to pick it around training discard. But the Bills defensively, to me, it's just there's too many options. It's a dart throw. You can choose one. You can try and invest in one. If you hit, you hit. Great, but if you don't, it's probably like a 10-15% chance you hit on the Buffalo Bills master. But offensively, I love Josh Allen, I love Stephon Diggs as investments. Hopefully their price comes down throughout this weekend. Moving on now to, I think it's New England Patriots. Okay, New England Patriots defensively, I think it's pretty obvious, but offensively, there are a couple options. Now I need some help, Patriots fans, in the comments. Let me know, does Trent Brown actually play for you guys? Like, does he start, and has he actually done good? Because if he starts and he's played good, I think he gets an upgrade. The only question is, does Trent Brown get the 95 overall card? David Andrews, I think the one thing, Chiefs and Patriots and how they line up. David Andrews and Creed Humphrey, one of those 2 guys is getting a Team of the Year, and one of those guys is probably getting a playoff card. So if David Andrews gets a playoff card, Creed Humphrey probably Team of the Year. If Creed Humphrey gets the offensive guy for the Chiefs, it's probably David Andrews getting a Team of the Year. But Patriots, offensive-wise, David Andrews has been one of the best centers in football, made the Pro Bowl. Elite core elite, he has that 86 overall superstar card. Superstar cards we know not to be the best investments because you could do their set, but I think he's a good enough. He'll be one of the highest rated centers, a really cheap option. It would be a very good, I think it's a solid investment. 86 overall superstar, pick up like 10 to 12K, could probably go up to 18, 19. Trent Brown, he has that Raiders theme team in his back pocket, which makes his ceiling really, really good. If he got the 95, he'd be better than Brandon Parker being the best right tackle for the Raiders theme team. However, Trent Brown is kind of a low enough overall to where they go like 83 to 93 for Trent Brown. I don't know if he gets a 95 overall card, but he's always a good shout. Any core elite that doesn't have an upgrade that is going into the playoffs, it's a very, very safe investment. Again, all these investments, if you pick up at the right price, you're not going to really lose anything. Just pick up at the right price. Hopefully, we get an odds boost this weekend. It will make these cards a lot cheaper. Hunter Henry is that perfect option, like Joe Mixon. Not good enough to get a Team of the Year card, but they've had a really good season. They're deserving of another upgrade. He has an 88 ultimate kickoff. Mac Jones, I don't think it's the Patriots card just because he's still in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year with Jamar Chase. So I don't really have him as a candidate. Damian Harris, I kind of flashed by. Could get a card. Been a very, very, very good year. Shaq Mason, Jonnu Smith, I think have just gone cards too recently. I think more likely it's going to be David Andrews, Trent Brown, or back pocket. Where was it? Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry was the last guy. Defensively, I think this is really easy. Of course, Teddy Bruschi, not on the team anymore. Dante Hightower is, I think, the other options could get an upgrade. He got an 88 overall team builder. But with the Patriots, and this card definitely has the name value and the overall to get a 95 or 96 overall card. And I think it's pretty obvious. Devin McCourty, 84 overall free safety. His importance to the New England dynasty and defense over the last decade really has been, he's a beast. He's definitely deserving of a card. His card's never being the fastest, but I think it's a pretty safe investment. 84 overall, you pick up like under 4.5, under 5K, probably goes up to 10K. Will be a pretty good card. Patriots theme team, one of the more popular theme teams, so he'd have a little bit of demand. But Devin McCourty, definitely one of the cards that I'm going to be investing this weekend. Again, I'm going after more of the safer investments and not the risky ones. Kyle Van Noy, long shot. He is a flashback card. Don't really think he gets it. But Patriots, main thing, defensively, Devin McCourty. Okay, moving on to the Indianapolis Colts, who will be in the playoffs unless they absolutely fold and choke to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, offensively, for the Indianapolis Colts, it is very, dart throw is you are blindfolded picking whoever is going to get the master. It's one of the, I think it's 4 offensive linemen. There are 4 offensive linemen for the Colts that have an 87 or 88 overall card, and then you have Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle we don't really have any tight ends. I don't think I have any tight ends as getting a card, so Jack Doyle easily could get a 95 overall card. I think he's the only tight end. I know the Raiders, we're going to get into it, Darren Waller could get an upgrade if the Raiders make the playoffs, but offensively for the Colts, it's just a dart throw. You have your 88, you have 88 Eric Fisher, you have your 90 Ryan Kelly heavyweight card, then you have, I believe, your team builder right guard, I don't know his name, of course, Quentin Nelson upgrade, and then you have your right tackle, Braden Smith. I think one of these 4 offensive linemen, 87 to 88 overall, gets the upgrade. I'm putting Braden Smith now because he's not an ultimate kickoff. He's not a team builder. He's not a... Well, Ryan Kelly would be a good investment. But Braden Smith, if we were to get an upgrade, one of the best right tackles in the game, most feared, so you can't really just directly get him through sets. I think there's an exchange set, but it's a random 87. I don't know if it's... You get to select the 87. But Braden Smith, I think, is the best. I mean, really, I can't really tell you who is going to get the offensive master. This is one of them that I'm pretty much not going to be investing in. If I see a Braden Smith for a good price, I'll pick up, but I'm not really going to go out of my way to pick up Eric Fisher, to pick up, I think it's, I don't even want to say his last name because I don't want to get it on, but the right guard. I'm not going to go out of my way to pick up the right guard because, again, he's a team builder. But for the defense for the Colts, I think there is 2 obvious guys that are going to get upgrades. They're going to get upgrades sometime this year. It's just who is going to get this defensive master. The first one, DeForest Buckner, 86 core elite, so he is a very good player in the NFL, and then he has a 90 Gridiron Guardian. The 90 Gridiron Guardian, some of the best cards to invest in. We saw how Alvin Kamara affected, or his price went for his 90 when he got a Harvest card. He went from, I think it was like 80, 90K all the way up to 250. Like, it was an insane spike for Alvin Kamara. But defensively, DeForest Buckner easily could get that 95 overall card. And the other card is Darius Leonard. Darius Leonard, again, one of the best players in the NFL, one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. Probably deserving of a card better than 90 overall. He's a core elite. He has a superstar. We're not really going to be investing in the superstar, but I'm going to be going after, and this is my favorite type of card to invest in. We've seen how good, we've seen Kyler Murray, we've seen CeeDee Lamb. The Team of the Week cards are the best cards to invest in. Darius Leonard, Team of the Week at 90 overall. He's going for really close to training this card. Definitely going to get a couple of him in my binder. Kenny Moore just got a Harvest card. Definitely deserving of a card. I think he made the Pro Bowl. Quiddy Pay, too high of an overall 92. Xavier Rhodes, I just think DeForest Buckner and Darius Leonard are 2 players and 2 names that are most likely to get that 95 overall card. I think this is one I'm pretty confident in. It's one of those 2 guys. Who am I going to invest in more? Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner? Probably depends on their price, but I love both their investments. Really safe. Definitely deserving of a 95, 96 overall card. Okay. Man, this is a long video. We're, what, 18 minutes in? Sheesh. Okay, LA Chargers and Las Vegas Raiders, last 2 teams. Of course, let me know actually who you think wins this game. I think this is going to be a dogfight on Sunday Night Football. But the LA Chargers, I think there are a couple of options offensively, but there's one card that really stands out to me that I love. He's definitely deserving of an upgrade. He hasn't got one this year, But offensively, you got Keenan Allen, 90 overall, most feared. It could definitely get the 95 overall card. I think there's a couple other players that I like, or actually there's just one player that I like a little bit more than Keenan Allen, and that's going to be Austin Eckler. Again, he's kind of in that range of, I don't think he's good enough to get a Team of the Year card. I don't think he's good enough. He's not going to win an AP awards honor. He could win, I guess, fantasy. I know they do a fantasy player of the year for AP, but Austin Eckler, first year as kind of the headliner back for the LA Chargers, definitely deserves a 90 plus overall card. His highest card, I think, is an 85 or is that 86 overall. Team of the week. Again, Team of the week, we love those as investments. Could be Justin Herbert. The only problem I have with Justin Herbert, again, like Travis Kelce, it's a much more expensive investment and not really, like, he's at 93 overall. Does he go 93 to 95, 93 to 96? Justin Herbert could get the Team of the Year card, potentially. Field General as an archetype, I don't think it's worth it to invest in. It's not the best archetype at a quarterback for a 95 plus overall card. But Justin Herbert could get the card, but I'm going to pick a couple of Austin Eckler's 85 or 86 work. I can't see. I got bad eyes, man. I can't see the numbers on my screen. Either 85 or 86. Corey Linsley, could get the card, but top two most likely to get the Chargers hero, Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen. Now defensively, there's a little bit of less options, although there is one guy I think that stands out to me, and it's going to be Joey Bosa. Been one of the best outside pass rushers in the NFL. Same kind of deal with Austin Eckler. I don't think he's good enough to get the Team of the Year. I think there's just a couple other. You got TJ Watt, potentially Defensive Player of the Year, Team of the Year. I just think Joey Bosa, he just slides in perfectly if the Chargers were to make the playoffs as that defensive master. There's not really anybody else. Derwin James just got a 92 overall card. Chris Harris just got a 95 overall card. There's just not a lot of options for the Chargers that have that name to be a 95 overall. I think Joey Bosa just makes the most sense. Linval Joseph, he has that 89 overall season 1 card. Joey Bosa, I think, is a very safe bet to get the 95 overall master. So that is going to be defensively. Asante Samuel Jr. I put up there. If you were to get a card, I think his card would be really, really well. High ceiling. Probably more likely to get a 90, to get a 91, 92. Not really a 95 overall card. Jerry Tillery, he's not getting an upgrade. I don't think he's that good of an NFL player. But okay, one last team. This is a long video. I'm already starting to lose my voice. I still gotta record the NFC video right after this. But Las Vegas Raiders, if they were to miraculously make their way into the playoffs, there are a couple options that I really do like. Trayvon Moore, I have on the screen. We can't invest in him. He only has a rookie premiere. I don't know why I put them on there. A little bit of a brain fart. But offensively, there's a couple options. You have Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs. They do both have most feared 90 overalls, and they're in that range to go from 90 to 95. It's a suitable range to get an upgrade. Most feared came out a long time ago. They definitely could get the cards. I just think, I don't know. Honestly, they could definitely get cards. But offensively, I think the two options I have down, Colton Miller, yes, he's a UCLA Bruin, have a little bit of bias there, but he's been one of the best left tackles in the NFL this year. I think he's 100% getting a card this promo. It's just a matter of, does he get the 95? That's the huge thing. But Colton Miller, and again, since this Raiders team is very, very good, I love this investment. You can pick him up for probably less than 3,000 coins. Colton Miller, an 82 overall left tackle superstar. And then the other option, and this is a very high ceiling, and it's Darren Waller. I know he's been injured, but he's the perfect name to where he can't get a Team of the Year. He hasn't been really playing that well this year. But I think EA to sell packs and be a big name, Darren Waller's that perfect option. Only a 91 overall LTD. You could pick up his Rita card for 100,000 coins. I think maybe pick up one of him, just throw him in the binder, because if you were to get an upgrade, would be probably the best tight end in the game. So his Redux price would probably go from 100k to 300k. So it's not a bad option to put a Darren Waller in the binder defensively. And I'm very confident if the Raiders, I don't think the Raiders are going to be making the playoffs. I don't think they're going to beat the Chargers. Devon Diablo is one of those cards like Darren Waller. I think it's worth it to just buy one for 30,000 coins, 89 overall. That's like trading this card. Pick one up for the low 30s, throw them in the binder. If you were to get a card, one of the best safeties in the game, you'd probably go from 30 to 100k. No direct way to get a rising star. But defensively, and you're going to see, I'm going to scroll down the entire list because the Raiders just have so many defensive legends. They don't even have any current defensive players that have elite cards. But the one that I already flashed up on the screen, and it's Max Crosby, probably the best player on the Raiders defense this entire season. Always seems to get a lot of pressures, not a lot of sacks, but a lot of pressures. Has an 82 overall superstar card, 88 overall team builder. I think he's the guy to get the 95 overall. He's deserving of a 95 or 96 overall. Playoff master. All right, we're done. There's the AFC. A long video. I'm losing my voice midway through. Hopefully you guys, and again in the comments, discuss who you think could get upgraded. We can discuss I don't know the word for it, but I'm a little tired. Discuss in the comments who you think gets upgrades for the AFC, guys. Here's a little screenshot of the entire AFC kind of spreadsheet I've made. You can take a screenshot on your phone, take a picture, whatever you want to do. Again, price-wise, we don't know how the market is going to react this weekend. I'll have more of a direct video. I'll probably have a top 10 AFC investments, top 10 NFC investments on Friday, so look out for that. But here's the entire playoff promo AFC investment guide that I'm going for. Again, I'm going after most of the guys that don't have upgrades or the really obvious ones: Joe Mixon, Trey Hendrickson, Austin Eckler. But there's your entire guide, your rundown of AFC investments, who you think for. You guys will have your own opinions. Go after the guys you think get upgrades the most. And well, the NFC video will be dropping an hour or two after this one. Until then, see ya.